Hi, you're listening to All That Matters with
Pamela Wistrom
and Adam Wagner. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Jester app. Created by Justin Brownstone and Tom Clark, the Jester app is like Twitter for comedians. That's Jestr. Share and enjoy comedy, see what jokes are trending, and download it now or it'll eat your family. It's the Jester app. Laugh your app off. We're here on All That Matters with our special guest today, Steven Briggs, who's a comedian.
What up, guys? I'm excited to be here.
Dude, this is very exciting, actually. It's kind of been my desire to get a comedian on the show ever since we launched. So,
nice.
This is very exciting. We had a palm reader last week.
Yes. He read your palms.
He read her palm. He did my palm a long time ago, but astrological palmist. So he knows the stars and knows stuff about you. And a lot of people would think that's fake, but he was actually scary accurate.
Really?
He was very accurate.
Like a gift.
It was a true gift.
What was one thing that he got you so much that you were like, oh wow?
Gosh,
he
hit on several. Let me think.
Let me tell for me, and then you think for a second.
Okay.
But for me, I met him a year ago, and then we were talking about having him on the show. But when I met him a year ago, he was like, you should, your ideal job would be TV show host. And I'm like, that's crazy because my friend Pamela wants to have a podcast. So this podcast is kind of because of something he instigated, when he was reading my hand. And he told me, yeah. So he's trying to convince me I'll be a great TV show host. So I was like, what about music? What about comedy? What about acting? And he's like, nah, TV show host. So, you can kind of blend all those things together, some TV show hosts do a lot of stuff. Like Jimmy Fallon plays music with his guests and other stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So what is...
For me, I am the most emotional human being on the planet.
Oh, really?
And he just literally hit that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
That reminds me of that one movie with Brendan Fraser. Remember where he's on the beach and he's crying, he's the emotional guy?
Oh, yeah. What was that one?
I forgot, but I only remember that one scene where he's just and she's like, you're too emotional. And it's the sunset is so beautiful. So that's you, right?
It is. I mean, today, just cruising over, I was in the mood for The Doors, and I just had The Doors.
Oh, you were blasting The Doors when you pulled into my backyard today. It was blasting The Doors, yeah. So I'm a mood person. I just kind of walk in my mood, walk in love, and...
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm always a little skeptic, when the palm or the card reader, because I'm always feel like they're they're trying to get a little bit of information out of you, or they're being very vague and trying to get you to answer the question.
Right.
So my mom used to have a friend that was a card reader, and she was doing these things, and she's my mom was oh my gosh, and then so I was Mom, I don't trust this lady at all. So my cousin had some cards that were I don't know, some Magic Gathering cards or something like that, and he's 6 years old. I'm like, hey, let me borrow your cards, and I grab them because they look like some.
That's hilarious.
Some cards that,
Magic the Gathering. Right.
So I go. I also read cards as well. And she goes, oh really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I go, yeah. I've been. She's like, how long have you been doing it? I'm like, I've been dipping my toes in the water for a while.
You really did this?
Yes.
Oh man.
And I started just flipping the card, and every card, whatever picture it was, I just described it, and by the end, she was crying.
No way.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my gosh. And everyone around was like, oh, and she's like, oh my gosh.
That should be a YouTube sketch. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I felt really bad after, but I was like, and she's like, you're the real deal. I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're not.
She's like, no. She's like, can I come back to you? And I'm like, look, I'm just messing with you, lady.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
That is funny. And Stephen, I agree with you because I'm very skeptical too. So I was nervous last week. I was very nervous.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, I don't know, maybe there are, good, but also there's hypnotists, too, and that's not, they're not really hypnotizing you, they're just making you feel, the people that are getting hypnotized, they want to get hypnotized, okay?
Sure.
So they're going on stage in a hypnotist show. I don't know if you've ever seen one.
Yeah, I've seen a show, but I'm wondering how much of it was. I wonder if it was staged or if it was legit.
Okay, not staged, but here's how they hypnotize you. They bring you on stage, and these are people that they want to be on stage, but they have stage fright. So they're not stage fright, but they wouldn't normally do like the things that you see them do.
Yeah.
But they're doing it because there's positive reinforcement behind it.
Yeah.
So he'll relax them. He'll get them into a state where they feel relaxed enough where they'll be able to do something, and then he'll get them started on something like you're going to do this or you're going to do that, and then he has the crowd make sure they clap for them every time.
Yeah.
So when they do that, they're feeling this great energy coming at them. They're going,
beautiful.
"Oh wow, the audience likes me. I'm getting
Right.
positive reinforcement every time I do one of these things."
Right.
So then they keep on doing them, and they keep on doing them bigger.
Yeah.
So they are like kind of being kind of hypnotized in the sense that they're being told what to do and they're doing it, but they're willing to. If they told them to do something crazy, they wouldn't do it.
Well,
like that was against their morals.
The one I saw, they were like acting like a chicken, like they're
Of course.
like a chicken, like they always do that, right?
And so, like in public, if you ask the person just in a circle, "Hey, act like a chicken," they might be a little embarrassed to.
Sure.
But since they're on stage and the audience is going, "Yeah, yeah," and they're liking it,
they're going with it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like a baby when a baby does something and people start laughing, and the baby keeps on doing it and does it bigger.
Oh, it's trippy.
Yeah. So that's kind
So
of
that's a hypnotist?
that's how hypnotism. That's the basics. I mean, I don't want to downplay it because like I'm
Right.
making it sound very simple. but-
Okay.
We're here to talk
Interesting.
about comedy today.
I know. We're talking
So
about
you
comedy.
fooled a card reader, and then did that convince you to become a comedian, or like how did you know you were going to get into comedy?
No, what happened was my mom used to just have like a bunch of like weird friends that did a bunch of weird stuff like that, and so she was like, how can I be the cool one in my group? So she's like, oh, I have a kid. So she would have me retell these stories about her, like beating people up in the streets or doing something wild.
Really?
Yeah, she'd just like tell me some crazy story, and then I would retell it for her in like a little sailor's outfit. I'd come down,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
dance in front of her friends.
But you're doing a full-on like skit with like a costume and everything.
Yeah.
It's just, wow.
Everything.
Whoa.
And
That's
so
awesome.
after a while of that, then one of her friends, like I got older and was like, "Oh, you remember Steven? Like he used to do the thing. Oh yeah." And then he's like, "Oh, like I'm going to this comedy show. Like, you should come with me." And he takes me there, and then the guy on stage is like, "No, next up, Steven Briggs." I'm like, "There must be another Steven Briggs in here." And this old man behind me is like, "Going up there, young blood."
Young blood.
And I just went up there and kind of retold some of the old
Really?
stories.
Wait, so you didn't know you were in the lineup?
No,
You
I
was
didn't.
Totally surprised.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know.
That's like when you're doing karaoke and you got one shy person in the group and you put their name and you make them
Yes.
sing a song
Exactly.
Yeah, and then they don't want to go up, right?
Usually
but then their
not.
friends are clapping, going, "Yeah, come on, do it," and then they go up, right?
Yeah.
And then once they get up and they start singing, then they're really into it, right?
Yeah.
Same way hypnotism works.
Whoa, so true.
Interesting.
Dude, I was the shy guy for karaoke, like when I was in high school, and my friends, they had me sing "Happy Birthday" because it was someone's birthday in our group. So I remember I can do "Happy Birthday." It's not that hard. And then it helped me. I think that helped me overcome a lot of stage fright. So
Karaoke's awesome. Boy, I haven't been
Yeah,
karaoke
and see,
for
they
a
started
while.
you off at something small, and then you start doing the same thing how hypnotism
Sure.
works. They start you off something small,
Just like-
then they get you, like, your butt's on fire, and you're like, on the floor and stuff.
it's just they always start you small, just like drugs or pornography or
Exactly.
podcasting, I guess. So one thing I was really curious about, because I've done a little stand up as well, gone to a few open mics, but like I've noticed like you really, really have to go at it for years to start getting some focus and getting some attention, getting some bigger jobs. Like I gave a ride to I'm an Uber driver, so I gave Kurt Brownohler a ride the other day.
Okay.
He was like he was like on a wine tasting tour up in Solvang with his wife and family, and their car broke down. And I was way up in like the Santa Barbara area, and he was flying into the airport way up there. And I'm like, oh, it's Kurt B. I wonder if it's my friend Kurt B. And it ended up being Kurt Brownohler. And I'm like, oh man. Then we had like 30 minutes to talk while I'm driving to like go get his car out of the shop or whatever. But he was like, dude, I'm like, how long does a comic have to give it before they start to really hit it big? He's like, oh, like 10 years at least. What is your opinion? Like, I guess everyone's a little different. Like some people
Yeah.
hit it faster.
Well, here's the thing, too. It's like, what's your definition of hitting it? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People say,
Right.
like, oh, I want to make it big, but the definition is so skewed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, their thought automatically, like, let's say for actors, example, because, I mean, there's a lot of actors that say, I want to become a big actor.
Yeah.
But I go, well, what's a big actor to you? And they automatically think Johnny Depp. But that's the biggest, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So is that what you're really going for, or are you going for something else? Are you going for comedic, or are you going for dramatic? The thing is so skewed, so when someone asks me that, it's so ambiguous that it's really hard to answer that question. Because it's like, what do you find in yourself as the definition of what has made it?
Sure.
Correct.
I think for a comedian, like a lot of people, they either have like their own Netflix special or get like a role on SNL. I think SNL is like a big That's like the standard for a lot of people.
That is, but I do agree with Steven. Everyone's journey is different on this planet.
Sure.
In the definition of big or why you want this is really in your heart and soul, and in the time it's going to come to fruition is when it is. And for you, that's something different. For you, Adam, it's...
Well, I have a podcast now, so I know I've arrived.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's like what you like. Podcasting is like the thing you solely want to do and stuff like that.
You just do it, right?
No.
Right.
But seriously though, because it's like that's what Mark Maron's known for now.
I love Mark Maron,
I mean?
yeah.
And like before, he probably thought like, probably be the biggest stand-up comic in the world, or probably like be on, I don't know, whatever. But
yeah.
I'm sure when he first thought about it, it wasn't podcasting because podcasting wasn't around. But now it's evolved and become now he's really into podcasting.
His ads are all over town right now too. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I just listened to Crispin Glover, I think, on his recent show. So he's interviewed some big time guests, which is kind of awesome, to be able to do that. Oh, and now like people are like, oh, Mark Maron's asking, yeah, you should go do that. Like it's like there's no question,
Exactly. Yeah.
That's great. Now I know about comedy, but I don't know too much about stand up. Do you have to stand up to do the comedy? Like, do you have to, or can you sit down, or how does that work?
You can do whatever you want. I mean, now you don't even need to actually be there anymore.
Oh, really?
Like you're just doing it like remote, like you're like on a TV screen somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious. Wait, have you done that? Have you done like remote comedy?
Yeah.
You did?
Wow.
Tell us what that show was like. What was
You're not even in the room with the audience.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Does that kind of make it easier because like you're less stressed about like being funny? I don't know.
Because once again you don't get the positive reinforcement.
Oh snap!
Yeah, the positive reinforcement lets you know, like, you know what I mean. It's like, okay, it's going.
Wait, so when did you do this? Were you on tour recently where you had like?
It was shown just some weird offshoot show that they were just doing.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
That is, I've never heard of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's bizarre stuff going on.
What's I'm really curious. Like, so I know you.
There's naked comedy too.
There's naked comedy.
Naked,
yeah.
with no
naked.
clothes.
Yeah, there's a comic in Boston who's like a nudist, and he throws like naked shows.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
And that's legal to do.
Yeah.
My
just be naked.
My buddy Joey Herman did like a naked set at the IO West a while back.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know if it was more awkward or more funny, but I'm guessing it was more awkward.
I mean, if people aren't there for that and they don't know that's going to happen,
right.
especially if you're doing a short set and you don't have time for them to get comfortable with your genitalia.
Right, so that show would be, no kids could go to that show, correct?
Unless maybe you're on a nudist resort, then probably.
Then you could go?
Yeah, because then everyone's nude. It's like, you're not really hiding anything. So.
That's amazing.
That's interesting. So I'm really curious, Steven, how do you get your material?
All different ways. I hear a lot of comics don't write. I like to sit there and pound the pavement, I like to sit down and just, like, get pen to the paper, but also I get it from all different ways. Like, sometimes, like, I'll just be, like, talking to somebody and then something will click in my head, where I'm just like, like I was thinking about this subject the other day, and then, you know what I mean, this other subject I'm talking about right now, and they kind of blend together, and then,
For sure.
Or just a bunch of different ways, but just, I think consistency is, like, the whole thing. Like, also I try to do, like, a bunch of different style. Like, I write storytelling, wordplay. Storytelling, mostly, it's like I have to live it out, kind of, to get that. Wordplay, I can just sit down and play with words and then mess with it and come up with, like, one-liners or whatever,
A lot of it, too, I think, like, when you're sometimes, like, because you can have a really active brain, you can be in conversation with somebody, and they're talking, but, like, your brain is, like, you ever see Mystery Science Theater, where, like, they're just, like, chiming up at the movie, you know what I mean? No, or, like, how could I put this? Do you remember an old HBO show called Dream On?
No.
Okay.
I'm really bad with TV shows.
Okay. It's almost like you have, like, if you're in a conversation with somebody, like, do you feel like you ever have, like, a heckler in your brain, just, like, kind of, like, chiming in with, like, you're not saying it, but you're thinking it. You know what I mean?
Like, what are they saying?
I'm not getting this. I'm kind of confused right now.
Like, let's say you're talking with somebody, and God, trying to think of an example. Like, maybe they're complaining about they just moved to LA and like they're like, oh, my rent's so high, and my neighbor's having sex really loud all the time, and like in the back of your brain, like out here, like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, but in the back of your brain, you're like, oh, welcome to California, now go home. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like while you're in conversation, you can be thinking of funny stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And if you use it in the conversation, you're a jackass and you're rude.
Yeah.
But it's like if you save it for an allegory later, then it can kind of work.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that happened the other day, like with my girlfriend. And because we were chatting, and she told me, she's like, oh yeah, like she was telling about her like hair and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that's great, but like in my mind I was making fun of her. So then later on I went like to a show, and I was like talking about how like my girlfriend is part Italian and part Indian, and like
interesting.
Yeah, and I was saying, like her Italian part comes from her mom, and then her Indian part comes from her hair extensions.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
and then she heard it, she's
great.
like, that's what you were thinking about when I was telling you about my hair?
That's
I was
awesome.
like, oh, well,
Awesome. That wasn't like the breakup
funny.
joke. Like,
No, nothing
tension
bad,
or anything.
but it's just kind of a little thing right there.
And you just came back from a tour, right? Like, were you in another country, or where'd you fly
I was
to?
in Cuba.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was in Greenland,
Wow.
Curacao, Honduras, and the Bahamas.
And your agent just books you on that, or how does that work?
I got booked from the military. So,
Whoa.
Yeah.
From the military?
Yeah, it's Armed Forces Entertainment.
I bet they pay pretty well, or?
They're pretty good, yeah. They take care of everything. They give you some good money, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's also good just like performing for the troops. Those like
They
the best
need
shows.
that. You know,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
troops need that.
Is there ever a moment too where you're like, oh, like DEFCON 2 or something? Like we gotta take shelter or something?
I haven't
or,
had that, but
no?
one of the comics of it, this comic named Matt Betts, a great guy, went on tour with him last year to Cuba and stuff, and he's been on like 6 of them or 7 of them, and he had one like that where they had to stop the show because they're like, oh, we have to fire at insurgents.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they're like, sorry, we have
Wow.
to, and he's like, hey, it's okay, you can interrupt my dick jokes.
And then the insurgent showed up like, hey guys, we just want to watch the show with you. We're the comedian.
They're like, you want to come see us fire? And then he's like, yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
That's great.
that was my second one. I'm going on another one this year to like Jordan and Egypt and Spain.
Crazy.
And the first one I went to the Middle East.
Wow.
Africa, yeah, and I like told my mom and I was going to the Middle East, and she was like, Steven, what? Why are they sending you there?
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. Like, it was my first time. I'm like, I don't know. They saw my YouTube.
It's
or
like you
something.
tell somebody at the airport, like, what were you flying? What in the Middle East? Oh, you're a soldier? No, I'm a comedian.
Yeah,
It's like,
my mom didn't even
Right.
believe me. She thought like ISIS was trying to recruit
Oh my
me.
god, it's
Oh
hilarious.
no, that's
Wow.
She's
scary.
like, it's a trick.
That's hilarious. Wait, so now, I would imagine when you go over there, like, troops are super respectful, I would imagine. But, like, here, like, you don't probably get many hecklers over there, or, like... do you get
No,
more
but
hecklers here, or-
I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's their time off and they're having a good time. So
Right.
people are,
They're
drinking,
yeah.
they're having a good time, The shows are always great, though. They're always, like, jammed, packed, and they're just really, like, into it and stuff like that. So nothing really crazy. I've had, like, shows where I've had, like, really bad hecklers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's what I want. That's what I really want to hear about. Like, what was like the worst heckler you had? Could you shut it down, or what happened with
I
that?
can't even, like put it into one. There's just, like, so many, like, I've
Wow.
had. It's, like, that are just, like, really bad. Like,
Was it a particular joke that triggered it? Or
I
just-
I was doing a show one time in the Los Angeles Library.
Oh man.
Yeah, which is a weird place to do
That is a
comedy.
weird place to
but
do comedy.
They had like a side room and they wanted to do a show, and I just happened. Okay, let's do it. And so I'm doing like some story, and some guy's like, "Hey man, talk about yourself. Don't talk about anybody else." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I was just talking about my parents."
Oh
Like,
my god.
he's like, "Talk about yourself," and he stood up and he's like getting in my face,
Oh
and it was
my
like
God.
the weirdest thing. But he was like a super like thugged out dude, you know
Sounds
what
like
I
a
mean?
homeless dude that just like lives at the library.
That's
I don't know.
scary.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, a security guard came in and grabbed him and threw him out. I was like, this library has a security guard, first of all. Wow. So
Yeah.
it's not the first time that's happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was just like, what was this guy doing in this place? Like
Gnarly.
he wasn't looking for a book or anything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, it was just weird. Like, that guy, I've had another...
I'm sure it's a free show too, right?
Yeah.
Just walk right in.
Every time I open up for a rapper, that's always weird.
A rapper? Okay.
Yeah, I've had, like, someone jump on stage and, like, rip the mic out of my hand.
What?
Yeah, and then a
way.
few of the rappers jumped on stage and jumped him.
Was it Kanye West? He was like took the mic. And just,
No, it wasn't. This guy was like, this guy was,
That's gnarly.
yeah, he didn't have that swag of Kanye.
That's gnarly.
What else? Man, I've had I had a couple like get really mad and like want to like fight me, and then they wanted to hook up after.
A guy and girl got no way.
Yeah, it was really
way.
weird. Like they were really drunk, but then they were. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
were they fighting you over one of the jokes, or?
I don't know. They were just being loud, and then I was like, "Hey, man, like."
That's trippy.
Yeah, can you keep it quiet? And like the thing is, like I keep a pretty like clean show until like I have to get in it with the hecklers, and then I get like a little like aggressive and stuff like that.
So honestly, what is a heckler? You guys have been talking about this, but what is a heckler?
It's just like someone who's interrupting the show and kind of like ruining the show.
Oh, okay,
like, they
so
want
they
to be a
try
part
to
of the
ruin
show.
your show.
They like don't try to. Sometimes they think like they're honestly helping the show.
Oh,
and
okay.
so they'll be like talking during the show or like trying to like. But the thing is, like they secretly just want to be a part of the show. They want the attention on them. They want the attention on them. Or like they secretly want to be on stage doing that, but they're too scared.
They're trying to add to your joke, so they think they're going to add to your joke, but then it derails. It might be funny to them and the people around them, but it derails your train of thought because you know where you're about to go next, and then and maybe you don't even hear them correctly, but the audience around them hears it. So now you have no idea what was just added to your.
Now, are these hecklers drinking, or are they intoxicated, or some of
like
them are?
100% of the time.
Typically, yeah. You know, that reminds me. I really want to see Jamie Kennedy's documentary, Heckler.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to see that, because you could probably see some of the worst situations, then how they handled it, whether they shut him down or not, you know. Like, I have friends, like, they just think about, like, ways to fight a heckler. Like, let's say someone's being really persistent. And you just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you okay, sir? Could you show us on the body chart here, where did the bad man touch you? Just show us for everybody, so we know where did he touch you." You got to kind of way to just put them in their place, right?
Yeah.
But most clubs are going to be good. Most clubs are just going to like the wait staff is going to come over and shut them down.
That's what I was going to ask.
Right?
Do you handle it, or does the staff help you?
Like I used to just like have fun and just like love ripping people up. Now I'm kind of like. Now I don't like try to do that as much just because like I can't think about myself, you know what I mean? It's like this audience like paid for the show and they're not here to see me like just rip somebody up. Like it's all fun for like 5 minutes, but after a while it's like, you know, so I'll usually ask them like, hey, you know, like bring it down, you know? And then if they do it again, then I'm like, look, I'm going to give you another chance, and then someone's going to throw you out.
And this is during the show, correct?
Yeah, and then if nobody throws them out, if they do it again, and the staff doesn't listen, then I just go to town on them.
Nice.
You'll go to town.
Yeah.
And do you have like a standard thing, or you just like you observe them and just pick on them like right there in the moment?
Right there, yeah.
In the moment, right.
And
speaking of towns, so what is your favorite clubs in LA? Like where do you like to perform in LA?
The Haha just they made a new one. It's brand new, yeah. It hasn't even been open for a year, the new one, and it's just really beautiful. I love going there.
Awesome.
So I go there a lot. Laugh Factory's really dope. I go there.
Like Flappers?
Flappers pretty good. It's far for me to get to, though.
It's far, for me too, actually.
Yeah, so
it's right by you.
I can walk to Flappers.
Yeah, so I just go to the closer ones.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, Flappers is cool, but, you know, it's just a little too far for me, so.
Who are some of your big time, like, comedians that you look up to? Like dead or alive?
Oh, okay. It's weird. I like a lot of storytellers that I don't even know if you would consider them like stand-up comedians. There's like this guy. He's like, "Hey, my name is Steve Osborne. I'm a New York police officer," and he just tells a bunch of stories. He's been on The Moth and stuff like that, and he just has like amazing stories.
Really?
Yeah, really good.
I think I've heard of him.
John Leguizamo has a bunch of one-man shows.
Oh yeah.
Off the wall. They're so great. One of my really favorite comedians is Paul Mooney.
Okay.
Paul Mooney, even though he's like always like white people this, white people that, you know, I think he's the best.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's just, his writing is so solid, and he, like, you were talking about standing up, he only sits down.
So he sits down during his show?
Yeah, he never stands up. He sits down in a chair the whole time.
I think that's awesome.
And just gets down, yeah. He's amazing. I was watching some stuff on him yesterday, and I was just like, oh.
That's
so, yeah,
great.
one of my favorites.
Awesome.
That's great.
I'm a big fan. I mean, I know he's already big, so a lot of people like him anyways. But I watch a lot of Louis C.K. stuff, and I can't wait for him to put out something new. But I heard he's taking a break right now.
Well, he has his finger dipped in so many pots. You know, he's like producing that new show with Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah, Baskets. Okay, yeah.
Then he has his own TV show that he writes and directs and produces.
Yeah.
Then he writes and directs and produces his own specials and like, you know what I mean? Like after a while, you know, it's like if you wear yourself so thin, something's going to suffer, you know what I mean? Something's going to become transparent. So I feel like he knows that, so he kind of takes breaks where it needs to be. So
yeah, my girlfriend and I, we went to see a show at the Improv on Melrose just a week ago, and Daniel Tosh was in the lineup, and he was reading off of notes because he does so much material. He's like, all right, guys, I got some new stuff, but I got to have a cheat sheet. I'm like, I totally understand that because he's doing his program and whatever else he's working on. And when you come up with new material, you're not going to want to just blank on it. So he had his cheat sheet, and it was still funny.
Why not? You know what I mean?
That's great. So I do have a question that brings up a really good point. As a comedian, do you want to work with the same material, or do you just kind of want to go avant-garde on it? Like each time make it different?
I think it just depends on who it is, you know? Like I get bored really fast, so I'm always trying to work on new stuff or add new tags, you know? But, you know, some people, you know, they have different styles, you know? It's however your brain works, I guess.
I'm sure it's rare, but do you ever come up with a joke in the moment, on the spot?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's called writing on stage.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so I try to do that all the time.
That's awesome.
Where I'll just have an idea that's kind of I have I'm working on this yoga bit right now, and it's about my girlfriend going to yoga, and she's convincing me to go to yoga for the first time. And I had a few ideas I wanted to do, but I didn't really have the whole thing. So I kind of just went up there and just started I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to talk about this for a good portion of the set, and then record it, and then listen back to it, and then see if the stuff I came up with on paper works, and then see if I came up with anything else on stage that works, and then kind of just whatever didn't work, cut it out, and then just smush all the rest of it together.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm curious. So how long does it take you, or what time do you want to keep your show within? For stand up. Because that's why you do stand it, right?
You have to squeeze a lot of material, right? So if you have a bunch of good stuff, and you're you got 10 minutes, you got to smash it.
Yeah,
if you're headlining, you just go as long as you want.
Yeah, it just depends on the show, If it's just a showcasing show, it's about 15 minutes. But if I'm doing a headlining show, I'll go as much time they'll allot me. But sometimes it's okay, well, we have to be out of the room at this time, so you could only do 50 minutes or an hour, So, but if I get the chance, I like to do more.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what if you have to go to the bathroom during your show? Do you just go and then come back?
That's hilarious. In the middle of your set.
I've had to use the bathroom. I've had to use the bathroom. I just power through.
So do you speed it up, or so you can't just go and then come back? No, you can't just
speed it up because even though I speed it up, the time is still time is still relevant.
Hilarious. So yeah, what do you do? I mean, I've had so I've gone to open mics where it's they're pulling your name out of a hat, and it's I run and it's poop as fast as you can because they might be calling your name,
your bladder's filling up. And
but if you're in the middle of your set, you just gotta hold it. You don't have a choice.
Or if you have to gas or something, you just let it out and keep going with the show. Or
why not? If you're on stage and no one's behind you, why not?
Farts are funny. I think farts are funny.
Just let it out. Okay. Interesting.
Usually, if I'm headlining a show, I know where I'm going up, so I can go use a bathroom before that. But if it's where I don't know where I'm going up, and they're just you're gonna go up next. And I have to use the bathroom. Well, okay, I guess I got to hold it,
Yeah.
Gosh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's that or you miss your set. What do you do?
I'm curious about when you were first starting out, how long, are you from LA originally?
No.
Okay, but when did you move here?
When I was 19.
It's 2000 something?
Yeah, a while back, man. It's...
and did you jump right into comedy when you got here?
I was already doing some comedy.
You were already doing some. Okay, cool. So you were just finding places to go and just doing.
I just kind of came out and then started going to this acting class, and then one of my buddies there was like, "Hey, you should do commercials," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that, man." He's like, "No, you should do commercials. I make $200,000 a year." And I was like, "I'll do commercials." So he introduced me to his agent.
That's
and his agent's like, "You remind me of my brother. I'll sign you."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. So I went out that night and I celebrated and I got real drunk and I was like, wow. And I woke up the next day with a hangover to a phone call. "Hey, kid, I got you an audition. Can you make it?"
That same day?
Oh, yeah, he's like, "It's in 30 minutes. Can you make it?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll be there." I jump in my car and I drive down there. I go up the stairs. I open the door. and there's all these doors just like, and they all look the same. They're all just white doors.
Weird.
And I'm sweating out the alcohol, and I'm
weird.
And I'm all nervous, and this guy's like, hey, man, and he's like, hey, are you all right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I just don't know where to sign up. And he goes, he's like, you're signing up for an audition. He's like, right there. And I'm like, okay. So I write my name, and I'm like, I write it down. And then this guy comes out of the door, the casting director, and he's like, looks at the chart. He's like, Steven Briggs. And I'm like, that's me. And I run inside, and he goes, okay, cool. He's like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at the camera. You're going to slate your name, and then you're going to go ahead and say the lines. I'm like, okay, cool. And he goes, okay. And he points at me, and I go, hi, my name is...
Oh, no, you didn't.
I threw up everywhere.
This is your first ever commercial audition?
Ever audition.
No way.
Oh,
but I had been in that acting class, you know what I mean, for like 2 weeks. So I've been in this... I've been in this acting class for 2 weeks, and I always would mess up in the scenes, and I'd always be like, to the teacher, sorry, I'll start over. And he goes, no, if you mess up, just keep on going. So I just went,
right.
And I jumped up, and I was like, Steven Briggs!
Oh my god, I can't even sit down right now. That's so funny.
And then I just started saying the lines.
Hilarious.
I just started reading the lines. And the guy's like, what the hell are you doing? And I look and I go, he messed up on his lines. The casting director messed up on his lines. Well, I'm just going to keep on going over his lines. And he goes, no, stop. What the hell are you doing? And I was like, I'm just reading. And he goes, no, what you're going to do is you're going to clean this shit up. That's what you're going to do.
Hilarious.
And I go out and I would get some paper towels and I clean it up. But like, I'm a guy who believes in like second chances.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I was like, hey man, we're going to run this again? And he goes, no, you're going to run out of here. That's what you're going to do.
Oh my god.
And I walk out and I'm so embarrassed. I'm feeling defeated.
God.
And this same dude comes up to me and goes, hey man, like, he's like, you alright? And I'm like feeling all sad, and I'm like, dude, I just ruined this ESPN commercial. And he goes, ESPN? He's like, dude, that's 3 doors down.
Oh, hilarious.
I ended up going in there and booking it.
Oh my, you booked it.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wait, so
God.
oh my goodness gracious.
Oh
You
my
walked
God.
into an audition.
The wrong audition.
Audition, threw up, and then walked out, and then went into the right room and booked it.
Yeah.
True story.
No,
That was your first commercial
crazy
audition.
awesome.
Lucky SOB. Wow.
That is awesome.
Wow.
What a story.
Holy.
Yep.
No, that's like,
That's
that
great.
needs to be in a movie. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That is incredible.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can't make that up. That
It was weird though, because then I thought that was like the mantra I needed to do to book commercials.
hilarious.
I'd be like getting like hungover trying to make it to commercials. I'm
Do
like,
a
I need
wrong one and then do a right
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I'd like be trying to sneak in the wrong ones.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
Like, what are you doing, kid? Get out of here.
Oh, it's
Right,
so
the
amazing.
secret to your success.
Oh my god, my very first audition was so bad. As I was walking out, I'm like, so you guys will call me if I get this, right? Like, yeah, of course we'll call you if you get it. It was like, I was so new, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah. And then I think there was one where, like, instead of, you say goodbye, like, so instead of saying, see you later, or see you around, or, catch you later, I said, catch you around. I'm like, oh, fuck, what did I just say? I said, catch you around. Like, no one says catch you around.
Yeah.
It kind of worked, I guess.
I've said all kinds of weird things,
Oh,
you know?
my God. So you booked the ESPN. I don't, was that the one where, like, they're in the office, they're, like, having fun, like inside the ESPN office?
It was in a cafeteria.
In the cafeteria?
Yeah,
Is it
and
around?
I'm like talking about like I'm like supposed to be a jock, and I'm like talking to another jock
Yeah.
about like sports, but we're talking about it in like a really like breaking down scientific way and stuff like that. I'm talking about like linsicum and the whip and the RPI and all that stuff.
Hilarious.
Yeah, all this crazy stuff I'm talking about. And then like these kids in glasses and like geeky kids come up and they look at us and I look up at them and they're like nerds and they make fun of us for calling so that's the commercial.
That is great. So do you continue doing your commercial work along with your stand-up?
I try to, yeah. I definitely like want to keep on continue doing it. It's hard because I'm like on the road a lot, so like
Right.
I can't make it to a lot of auditions.
And did ESPN pay you $200,000?
No.
No.
That guy had booked a bunch of them, so that's how he got that much money. But
Nice.
they were nice. They were very nice to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were
That's
awesome. They paid me
great.
nice.
But I see your point because your schedule is so busy. I mean, commercials are a quick turnaround, though, versus like a film or TV series.
Oh yeah, it's like one day
It's
at work
yeah.
and you just like you're in and out.
You're in and out, you book it, you're good.
Yeah, it's the fastest way to make money in acting, I think.
That's amazing. Yeah, I did a Hotmail commercial a long time ago, and for
Hotmail, that must have been a long time ago.
For the email service, yeah. It was about 5 years ago. I think, and it was actually for like Hotmail in the United Kingdom. Like,
okay, they're popping in.
I guess it is. I used to use Hotmail, right?
I do use Hotmail.
That's weird.
I was using Hotmail, and then someone made fun of me, and then I had to switch to Gmail because like one of my friends is like, he's like, "What is this? Your high school email?" And I was like, "Shit, it is my high school email."
So, are you serious? Maybe I should get a Gmail. Well, wait, I do.
No, stick to your guns. Like, don't let someone push you around like they did to me. They pushed me.
Right, I have Hotmail and Gmail.
My buddy has AOL,
well, actors
and he swears by it.
Actors are like so susceptible to suggestion. Like, oh, don't do that, do this. Like, oh, okay, I guess that's what I should do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wear your shoes on your hands next time you do an audition. Oh, okay, that's what I'll do, you know.
I've done that before.
No, you literally have?
I took my shoe off in an audition. I put it on my hand. And,
oh, my God.
And then the guy's just like, I said not over the top. I said not over the top, and I was like, I don't know, but you said there's like a window coming up, and I have to block it, so I'm not going to block it with my hand. That shit's going to hurt. So I take off, like, he's like, your window's going up, but you can't stop it, so you need to stop it. So I thought the smartest way to stop it would take your shoe off and put it there. But he thought that was over the top. So.
Hilarious.
That's I remember, I've done a couple commercials, but the one I remember is for Jerome's Furniture, and I was Jane. And I auditioned, and there was probably like 50 girls that auditioned, really tall, you know, like model type girls. Mm-hmm. So when I went into the room, they're like, you know, how tall are you? And I'm like, I'm 4'11", and you know,
short model type though.
Right, exactly. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Anyway, so I'm reading the lines, but I could not believe it. You could get the furniture tonight. I was completely in awe of that. I'm like, you can actually get this tonight. Like I couldn't believe it. And I think that's what sold it. I was just like completely...
Oh, so you were astonished in the audition.
I was astonished in the audition that you could order your furniture. Oh. It would be delivered to your home and you get it tonight.
Oh, wow. Is that how you delivered it? Because that was really well.
That's exactly how I did it.
That was like amazing. Like, I was like, wow.
I'm like, it's exactly how I deliver. I'm like, and I get it tonight? Like, I just couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Well, there you go.
I need to stop being so like yeah, that could happen, sure. Like an audition, like
I was
just like more amazed.
In awe. But yeah, commercial work is fun.
So you've done a couple commercials. Are you getting into like YouTube sketches as well? Or
yeah, I've done some like sketches and stuff, and
like College Humor or like BuzzFeed or like.
I don't know where the stuff goes. I don't know. I show up. I don't even. Yeah, I haven't even seen half. I don't even look for it. You know what I mean? Funny. I just because there's so much stuff. You know what I mean? Content going out. You know what I mean? I can't like really like focus on like watching where it's going and stuff like that. Just kind of like do something and then you know like move on to the next thing. You know,
absolutely.
It's like it's just you know because I have a lot of like plates spinning, so it's like I kind of like can't like. Focus too much on what's going on over here. Because if I look at this plate on my right, then the plate on the left falls. You know, so you kind of just gotta peripheral. You know, watch everything.
Keep everything balanced.
Yeah.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So what about films and television? Does that interest you?
Yeah, definitely. I've done a few like independent films and stuff like that. Like the last one I got killed in.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did you?
Horror film. Yeah.
Film. Really?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Wow.
I don't even know. They keep on switching the title. The name is not out yet.
Oh, cool.
But then I did this other one called Forbidden Dimension. I played a monster in it, and that was pretty fun. Because like I'm supposed to be working in a factory, and so like they did all this crazy makeup on me. It was really cool. And so like my buddy's like he's directing this film, and he's like, okay, cool, man. So you're working in the factory. You're this monster, and I'm wearing a suit and stuff like that. So I was like, they get there, and I'm like. He's like the lead character's going to come up to you and he's going to ask to meet with this person. And so I was like, okay, cool. So like they're like, okay, and action. I was like, hi, welcome to the factory.
Oh my
and he's
God.
like, cut. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, he's just like, you know, I thought about the character and he's working in a factory. And he's like, yeah, but why are you doing that voice? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like I thought it'd be cool. I've never seen a gay monster.
Gay monster.
Yeah, and he's like,
so funny. Actually.
He's like, you're a monster, bro. Like you're not. I'm like, but I'm working in a factory. I'm wearing a suit. I'm not even scary.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
that is
gay monster.
funny.
I've never heard of a gay monster either.
I just thought it would be cool, you know what I mean? Like, cause like like, I don't know, like my character's working in a factory. I had like a fitted suit, so I was like, you know what I mean? I look good.
That's awesome.
Feel good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You went with what you were feeling.
Yeah, I just felt like,
Right,
you know, I was
I
like
like
this
that.
monster,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, has his stuff together.
Right.
You know?
Was it, okay, I'm really curious to see this, whatever this project was.
I
now.
am too. Let's
It's
look
called
at it.
Forbidden
Take a look.
Dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, you can check it out.
Forbidden, what is it?
Dimension.
Forbidden Dimension.
Yeah.
Trippy.
Yeah, so
Cool.
a nice little project. I think I'm not sure where that went either though.
Yeah, I totally.
I know it's like I know it made money though because I talked to the guy.
You know, it's really helped. You said your friend was directing it. It really
Yeah.
helps in this business to have someone like, you know, helping you get out there, like, you know, rooting for you. And like, I have a friend, she's a student filmmaker, and she put me in a project where I played like this Napoleon Dynamite character.
Oh, nice.
And she just hit me up the other day. She's like, hey, by the way, I'm keeping you in mind for my future project. I'm like, oh, it's awesome. Like,
That
to
is
have somebody say that to
wonderful.
you, like, you know, like, oh, okay, like, I've already got the role, you know. And you think about it, like, on a grander scale, like for the A-listers, like that's what they've got going. Like, I don't know, Michael Bay or whoever, Zemeckis, whoever's like, hey, this is my guy. If I can't get him, I'm going to get them, you know?
Oh, yeah,
So it's
definitely.
like, what is our, you know...
Exactly. In this business, that's awesome. It's all about teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
think
one of
it
my
is.
buddies.
And then who you blow.
What was that?
Who you blow. Teamwork and instead of who you know, who you blow. Never mind.
What do you mean by
Who
that?
you blow. Should we cut this out? Should we cut this whole part out?
She wants you to.
No, are you saying because I looked at
I
you
mean-
when I said it? It was like a joke, but I didn't mean to look right at. I looked right at you when I said it, but I didn't mean anything.
I thought it was who you know, not who you blow.
Well, I just came up with that on the spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
You're a conservative woman.
Yeah, even with big boobs. Yeah.
No, I do this stand-up bit.
do,
I do
yeah.
this like stand-up bit where like you know, people that have been here for a few years and are still trying to make it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when you first move here, you're like, oh, I've heard about the casting couch, but I would never do that. I would never stoop that low. I have morals, or I'm straight, or whatever it is. After like 5 years, you're like, bring on the magical producer penis. Like if I just have to suck this one time, like where is the magic producer penis?
You know, people always.
It's almost like a South Park sketch. Like, hey guys, let's go to Hollywood and find the magic producer penis. You know?
People always say, like, you know, like, oh, like, I would never do that. But I'm like, well, you know, probably the magic penis doesn't want you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the magic penis has a lot of options. You think the magic penis is, like, going to float down and come to you? No.
Right. So do you really think that's true, that people do that to get parts?
I mean...
To an extent.
I mean, okay, let me tell you something. Okay. I had a buddy who used to run a theater company.
Okay.
And it was a small theater company, and he used to always say that the play was going to turn into a movie. And he was doing that to everybody.
Oh, man.
All the actors there, he was getting them. He would always tell me how he got all these actors and stuff like that. So it was a small scale, but he was doing that on a small scale.
Oh, my
And these people were falling
goodness.
for it on that scale. So.
Wait, it wasn't the eavesdropper, was it?
No.
Okay. Because I heard something about the eavesdropper, but I don't want to badmouth them.
I mean, I've been hit on like a million times. Like, I'm hit on all the time. But I don't know. I have
Okay.
high morals.
You've been hit on a million times, or asked to do that stuff?
Well, I have high morals, you know what I mean?
But you've been asked to do that stuff, you're saying?
Yeah, but I won't.
So what, break it down, because I've never been asked. So because like obviously
I've never been asked.
Yeah, I'm not getting flattered like
I
that.
guess I'm
But
not that
you
cute,
got
yeah.
like a million times. So how do they ask you? Like, give me an example.
Of course, people are like, "Oh, you're so cute," and "Oh, they touch your hair," and then they start, making the move on you, want to kiss you, and I just push them away.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
they don't offer you anything first. Like, have they ever been like, "You want to be a star, don't you?" Like that's
No, actually, no.
I take out your shirt.
No, not that way. But I just really feel like in this business, as far as being an actor, you should get the part based on your performance of acting, not
Fellatio performance.
not having to like sleep with someone to get the part.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
People in the I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, and it just I don't know. I won't do that. Maybe because I'm different.
I just heard so many rumors. Like I did a little bit of background acting, and like these background actors, there's so many rumors.
God.
Like,
and you know what? Wait. You know what?
okay, tell us the story.
I did, and I can't. Well, you already know who it is, Adam.
No, who is it?
No. Because he was like, I'm going to get you so many parts, and yada yada yada, and you're going to be huge. And because I would not go out with him or do anything with him, he got pissed.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
I made a Facebook page
He
just
was
for this.
livid.
Actually.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, that's just so sad.
You're not going to say his name, though, right?
No, I'm not going to say his name. I will not say his name.
I made a Facebook page just for this, so other actors...
Well, that's what he wants. He's like, say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
But you know what? I don't want to say his name, but I just think that's so sad, especially being a woman. Like, you know, you're always hit on and stuff. You know, even if I have, like, no makeup and I'm in a baggy T-shirt, you know.
Well... I mean, you know what? I don't even think it's that crazy because I feel like the world's full of deception, you know? Everything is a little bit about deception in a sense if you think about it, you know?
For sure.
Everyone's trying to, like, you know, even, let's say, like, when someone tells you, like, hey, can you do this thing? Or like that, and then they, like, hype it up, you know? That's a little bit of deception in a sense, you know? It's not a dirty sense of deception because that's not what you're thinking about. But, so that guy, you know, he had something that he wanted, and he was trying to figure out ways to get it, you know what I mean? Obviously, he couldn't charm you, so the only way he thought about he can get you was to tell you, hey, I could do this for you, you know?
But Pam, with your looks, don't you get typecast a little bit?
And yes, you're right, Adam. I do get cast in parts where I'm, you know, the sexy blonde girl.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean that I'm a hoe, right?
No, of course you're not a hoe.
Right?
Absolutely.
But exactly. So just so people know that, you can get cast in sexy parts.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's gay actor or gay actors that play straight. I mean, there's all kinds of people just being someone other than who they really are.
Exactly, and that's part of acting. You can, you know, be a druggie and or whatever you want.
I mean, we're getting into a lot of realism these days too.
We are
like where people are really doing wild stuff on camera.
Yeah, exactly. But I think when it comes to entertainment, you are who you are, and when you're performing or you get booked on a project, you're going to give it your all, and you're going to be 100% with that character. Even if it's an evil character.
I agree. And we had to say goodbye to our friend Steven.
We did. I miss Steven.
Steven was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, my stupid computer lost the last 10 minutes of our interview with him.
It did.
So we didn't even get to hear him say goodbye. But this is Pam and Adam. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And we love you all so much.
We had a really good talk today about acting and comedy and casting. And
we did.
Steven's a hilarious guy.
He is funny.
Yeah. I need to get a new computer.
Yeah, let's work on doing that. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to All That Matters.
Take care.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey, everyone. Adam here for All That Matters. I just wanted to say thank you for listening. And if you love comedy like I do, you're going to want to check out the Jester app. That's Jestr. This app was created by comedians, and it's like Twitter, but just for comedy. You can share and enjoy jokes, see what's currently trending, and if you don't download it now, we're going to eat your family. It's the Jester app. Laugh your app off. And we're just getting started, so if you'd like to sponsor one of our podcasts with a one-time gift of $50, send an email to allthatmatterspodcast@gmail.com.